Hi, I'm Robbie. I was a professional surfer that lived for travel and adventure. When I was not surfing, I'd be outdoors. Hiking, climbing, riding, fishing, anything really. Never lost my passion for the outdoors. But anxiety took away my ability to live like that. I got a real job. I became a normal person. What is a normal person? I don't really know. But the less I did, the more my anxiety took over, the more unhealthy I became, the more I consumed, the more I became the person that I don't want to be. And that's where we are today. For the last 2 years, I've lived in a caravan with my family and we have semi-travelled the east coast of Australia. It helped me a lot, but I haven't done what I really want to do. So we crossed the country to the west coast and here we are, and this is where my journey starts to become the person I want to be. There's no waves today. It's windy, it's a bit overcast, but I'm not sitting at home wasting the day. So we're going to go for a hike. It'll be a little one. I'm going to take my camera and take some photos, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about my life. Come along for the ride if you want, or not. Thank you. So as I said, I was lucky enough to be good enough to travel the world as a surfer. I made so many friends. Most of them still in contact with. But in 2006, I nearly drowned, and it changed my relationship with the water. I don't know, something happened the next time the surf, it wasn't even big, but in January 2007, at an event, I had a panic attack in my heat. I didn't know it was a panic attack. I didn't know what it was. So I just gave up, stopped traveling, went back to my trade as a cabinet maker, made up some story about needing to grow up, get a real job, do all the things an adult does, but deep down inside, I guess it was eating away at me. panic attacks as there was now, so I just didn't know what was wrong with me. My life really changed right then. I chased a feeling that surfing gave me through various means. I brought boats and dirt bikes. I got right into triathlon with my obsession, like my love of bikes and water and running. Triathlon seemed like a great idea, and I loved it, and still do love it, but I don't do it. But then I got an injury, and that kept me on the couch and inactive for a couple of years, and that's when my anxiety really took over, and that was around 2013, 14. And I virtually locked myself in my house where I was safe for 4 years. We tried a few things to get me out of my comfort zone. We moved from Torquay up to Queensland. I wanted to get somewhere where I could be outdoors more, and that helped. Moving to Queensland definitely helped. I got back in the water a little bit more regularly. I got my dream job as a carpenter building award-winning houses. The weather was beautiful, and my anxiety to a point had started to dissolve. And then me and my wife decided to go overseas. It was also my sister's wedding in Canada, so we made a big trip of it. This is 2019. And yeah, this is where I had my second panic attack, but by this stage I'd had a little bit of education around mental health and anxiety, so I understood it this time, but then it made me realize what happened to me in the water. So this was a major turning point. This gave me something to work on. So this is where the foundations were laid that maybe I could get back to all the things that I left behind 5 or 6 years earlier. The projects that I wanted to do, the trips that I wanted to do, and the places I wanted to surf. The only problem was now that I had a daughter, another one on the way, and then obviously a few months later something could happen around the world that would make living extremely expensive. And all the hard work I'd done on my brain had now been seemingly useless because I had no time to put into those areas. I was working so hard, we were so busy, and my money was just going straight out to bill. I guess that's what put in the foundations for what I'm doing now. I just couldn't get this loop out of my head of what I wanted to do, how I used to do it, and could we do it as a family. So essentially I used to travel up and down the East Coast, getting jobs when I needed them, traveling to events in between, living out of my 60 series Land Cruiser and couch surfing and just hotels, whatever I could do, whatever I could afford. And work was about the reward of the adventure. It wasn't about keeping a roof over my head. So I approached my wife and said, what if we start traveling? She was open to the idea, but we first needed to save. So I worked really hard for another couple of years and we just couldn't save. My youngest daughter was born with some complications which kept my wife home from work. We couldn't send her to daycare, which is fine, is better. But it was hard living on the Sunshine Coast off a single wage. The wages aren't great there. Cost of living was through the roof. Rent was ridiculous. So we just decided to leave one day. Enough was enough. I was starting to get to the point where I understood why people take their lives. And for me, that was a turning point, because I'd always, my anxiety had come back. No matter what I did, it felt like I was failing. And I needed to change something majorly. And in my head, I just knew this would work. I guess deep down, I just knew that I was a dirtbag. I don't need all the fancy things that I thought I did. I just needed freedom to move and freedom to live on my terms. And I'm lucky enough that my wife was open to it. So in 2023, with no money, we just took off. We got down, I had some work lined up, and we travelled down to Victoria and And yeah, the last 2 years have been challenging, amazing, not how we hoped or planned, but they're an adventure. My anxiety has all but gone. So now I'm in a position where I can do some of the things that I want to do and chase the dreams that I've always had. Because, like, at what point do we change from being told to follow our dreams to forget about them? And like, why do we tell our kids to chase their dreams and then one day, well, it's time to grow up and get a job? Well, yes, it is. You need to fund your dreams, but there's better ways to do it. So now we're on the west coast of Australia. This little region we're in is built for adventure. And now my brain's fixed, it's time to fix my body, and I want you guys to come along for the ride. This is Memoirs of a Dirtbag, and they're just going to be little vlogs of me doing the things that I love to do: surfing, riding, hiking, climbing, day trips, micro missions, longer trips, all while me and my family travel Australia. This rain's really set in, so I think I'm just going to have to mission back to the car. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'm not going to ask you all the time, but you guys watch YouTube, you know how it works. It helps. Why would I film all this stuff? Because I hope that I can inspire someone that's in a similar position to me. To get out and chase their dreams again, to do the things that make them happy, to communicate with their partner about how they feel. You never know, they might be open to it. You might be able to find a happy medium. But all I know is if I had have kept going the way I was going, I couldn't. I don't think. I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest, but I wasn't a good chippy, I wasn't a good husband, I wasn't a good father, I wasn't a good myself. So, and I'm still not the greatest at any of those. I've got a lot of work to do, but 2 years on the road has taught me what I need to do. Now 2026 is about putting that into action. I'm going to be healthier, happier, and yeah, my fears have changed. My fears once were leaving the house, and now my fears are not getting barreled, not hiking the places I've always wanted to hike, and not being a great dad, and not being a great husband, and never being happy again. So when you're driven by fear, you just get on with it. Alright, until next time, have a good one.